What is going on, guys? This is Walk Talk Football, the show where we talk about everything that's on your mind. This week, we're in the financial district and kind of shitty weather out here, so let's walk. Guys, of course, it's that time of year. It's all about transfers. Our fans want to know who their team is getting, who's going away, all that kind of stuff. So let's get right to it. Thoughts on Ceballos to Barcelona? Well, Danny's a great player. He's being rumored to be going to Real Madrid or Barcelona. If he goes to Barcelona, I think it'll be a great long-term replacement for Iniesta. This kid is an incredibly talented player. 20 years old, was a player of the tournament at the Euros. But if he were to go to Real Madrid, now Real Madrid is creating a dynasty for the future as well. They've got Asensio, Llorente, maybe even Mbappe, Hernandez as well. So if all of that comes together, it could be the new Dortmund. I mean, except with even better players. Dortmund's great at these young players coming through and all that stuff, but I think Real Madrid could match that and have a dynasty for the future because it looks like they're making a lot better and more strategic signings than Barcelona for the future, even though they did just re-sign Messi. Next up, Women's Euro start in just over a week's time. Any predictions? To be honest with you, I haven't paid all that much attention to it. Got so much going on in the office right now, but I did do a little bit of research. I'm interested to see how Germany performs, Sweden performs, and I can't wait to watch the England versus Scotland game as well. Cue me in on some cool storylines. Who should I be watching? What teams are the best? Who are the favorites? What matchups you want to see? Because it's not about me, it's about you, so let me know. Fill me in. Next up, what do I think about Real Madrid's new signing, Theo? As I mentioned before, he's 19 years old. He's leaving Atletico to go to Real Madrid, which apparently there's this non-aggression pact, which I don't really understand. It's apparently to prevent these teams poaching from each other's players or creating problems between the fan bases or whatever it is. If anybody knows what this non-aggression pact means, send me a message on here or send me a message on any of the platforms so I can understand it a little bit more. But this kid's 19 years old. He's a left back, 24 million, I think? 24 million euros for a 19-year-old left back. What is the world coming to? Regardless, we know he's super talented. We know Real Madrid are making great signings, so I'm interested to see how he performs. So next up, does Red Bull Salzburg make it out of Champions League qualifying, and could they possibly see Leipzig in the group stage? I don't really know. I mean, I hope they do. I think it would be really cool to see both these teams. We know a lot of people are anti-Red Bull. I mean, it didn't seem like people made all that much fuss when Red Bulls were just Salzburg. And then, you know, when they have this big global group of 6, 7 teams now, people are very anti it, especially with regard to Leipzig. But I would love to see them play. I think it would be interesting. I think it'd bring a lot of attention to the game globally and give us talking points. So if it happens, great. Guys, we've got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people want to know what's going on with the Lacazette stuff. Obviously, this deal is done, but there's a lot of opinions out there. Do you think Lacazette could help Arsenal get back to the top, which I don't understand. Arsenal haven't been back to the top in so long, so I don't think one signing is going to change that, but I do think he'll make them better. Lacazette to Arsenal is everywhere, that's correct. Does Arsenal sign Lacazette, give them a better chance of getting back to the Champions League? Absolutely. I think it's been a long time since we've seen Arsenal sign a player of top. Look at all this trash, by the way. We're walking literally through trash right now. It's been a long time since we've seen Arsenal sign a top-level player that's proven himself or has proven that they have the ability to step in and be impactful right away. Yes, we saw that with Ozil, we saw that with Sanchez, but I mean, Ozil wasn't all that great at Real Madrid during his time. He's a world-class player. Do not get me wrong. Don't misunderstand me. And then Sanchez has been fantastic, but you know, with Giroud, he came from Montpellier, teams like that are great finds by Arsene Wenger, but aren't exactly world-class signings that you can say, okay, this guy's going to come in. I mean, Lacazette, he scored 100 goals in Ligue 1. He's a proven goal scorer, and and they're paying for it. So you're paying for that type of quality. So it's nice to see. Hopefully that gets them back into the into the Champions League, and we can all dream of Arsenal winning a Champions League again, or at least going out in the quarterfinals against Barcelona or Bayern Munich or whoever. All right, next up, what is the most important position Man United need to improve next season, and with who? Well, we know that James Rodriguez is being linked to them. I think that would be a great addition. Look, I like Martial, I like Rashford, but you need somebody that can literally do it week in and week out. And I know James doesn't get the love that he deserves because he's not playing much, but when he has played, he's put up numbers. And then obviously goals. Lukaku has agreed to a deal with Man United. They're paying for it. They need to replace Zlatan Ibrahimovic, so I think that's going to be a great signing for them. And then I would love to see Eric Bailly or Baye, or however you pronounce it, and Daley Blind and Smaldini all get challenged. I think that pretty much covers the transfers. Next up, how about Keane to Everton, Gustavo to Marseille, heck, Terry to Aston Villa? Well, if you want to know about Terry to Aston Villa and my thoughts on that, we had our rad transfer show went out yesterday, so go and check that out. Click the link. You'll be able to see what my thoughts are on Terry going to Aston Villa. But Keane to Everton, I think that's great. Everton are making great signings. We also talked about that on the Rad Show. They're spending a lot of money. They're proving that they want to be in that top 4 discussion. And I think that's really, really cool. Very strategic decisions that they're making there. And I'm excited to see maybe Wayne Rooney go back to Everton as well with Lukaku on his way out. Gustavo to Marseille. Marseille's also doing great things, trying to bring in Carlos Bacca, El Haddadi from Barcelona. It'll be interesting to see Marseille, who's also trying to make a push back into the top level of football in France, hopefully get themselves into a Champions League position. And then finally, what does DC United need? New stadium coming, but what else? Well, I think DC United have a lot of things that they need, but they've built their team around having a coach in Ben Olsen and having a team of kind of the MLS misfits, a lot of guys who have a lot of experience, know how to manage a long season, but that only works for so long, and we've seen that kind of falter a little bit. So I'd love to see them bring in a few big name players, a few big egos, stir up things in the locker room, make things uncomfortable, bring in a leader that can really kind of change the dynamic of the team. I don't know if that will work, but it's always worth trying. You know, the issue sometimes, I've always been pro keep the team together, add a few small pieces, don't just blow up the squad. That only works for so long until you really have to shake things up, and I think it's about that time that DC United shake up that locker room a little bit, bring in a little bit of flash or a little bit of flair, and they had that with Eddie Johnson a little bit, they had that with Fabio Spindola, but I think it's time for them to go to Europe and bring in a big name player, a big ego, and I know all this will happen around their new stadium and things like that, but I think now is the time to sort of keep that club relevant by bringing in somebody big. So guys, that is it for Walk Talk Football this week. Get down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about anything transfer news, whatever's going on in the world, and until next time, comment, like, subscribe. See you guys later.